The story starts, demonstrating the National Kendo Championships. Two players going for each other's throat to win. They fight vigorously until one of them is down. The player who is still standing is a player named Ye Shiho. The commentator compliments the player Yeshiho, saying he finished all rounds in this championship within 20 seconds. Moreover, the announcer says that he has seen many players, but this is the first time he has seen someone like Yeshiho. Clearly, Yeshiho has surpassed exceptional limits. Will such a player appear ever again? The commentator wonders as he says that it would be hard to find one like him in Korea, let alone the world. 3 years later from the current timeline, near the club named Zeus. Ye Shiho, along with his blade, has annihilated many guys standing in front of him. The other guys who are left are facing a dilemma, thinking how they should approach to kill the monster standing in front of them. One of the guys from the middle devised a plan. He says that they should attack simultaneously from the front, left, and right. Then he won't be able to hold up. Truth be told, his plan was perfect, but it was nothing compared to the blade, which has already taken the life of countless guys like them. On the countdown to 1 to 3, they charge as planned. Ye Shiho immediately attacks his opponent's neck coming from the front, dodges the guy coming from the left, and slices the hands of the guy coming from the right. Finally, he deals with the last guy by chopping his body and legs. At that moment, another guy appears, who seems to be the boss of that place. He claps while smoking, complimenting Yeshiho, saying it was a deadly scene for him to watch, seeing people getting chopped up. Meanwhile, Yeshiho only glares at the man. "Shouldn't we be joining hands by now?" the man asks while smirking. Yeshiho blames the man for killing his sister and led to their mother's death. Lastly, while pointing his blade towards the man's throat, he says that one of them must die here. If you are wondering what is happening here, we should go back 2 years ago in Gangneung. On a rainy night, our MC Ye Shiho tells his mother to sleep well and is currently hearing the news. It reports that with the ongoing economic downturn, self-employed individuals are taking direct hits. In one area of Seoul, even taekwondo and kendo dojos, as well as chicken restaurants, are shutting down, and they hope all self-employed individuals will stay strong. In the next news, the reporter informs that there's a series of robberies targeting women living alone in Seoul's studio apartments. Yeshiho stops the television and goes upstairs to his room. After entering, he takes a trophy and starts packing it. He packs countless trophies and medals, which he won by playing kendo, in the cardboard box. In the middle of his packing, his phone starts ringing and he receives the call. "You quit kendo?" the caller asks. "Who is Shiho's master?" Shiho answers by saying yes. His master says that he would like to hear, calling him director rather than master. He says that Shiho's skills are too good to waste. Shiho replies that if he wants to make a living from kendo, opening a dojo is the only way, so he needs to get a job. Hearing this, the director offers Shiho to Jion his dojo as an instructor, and he will make sure Shiho gets treated well. Shiho replies, saying that the director's words alone are appreciated. "Did you find a job?" the director asks. Shiho says that, with just his mom to care for, he is planning to take on a store to help her out. The master says that it means Shiho has to work 12 hours a day, and as he is about to say something, Shiho cuts the call, saying that he needs to pack, so he will call the director later. While packing, he sees some photos of him from his childhood wearing the kendo uniform. He sees the photo of his mother and sister all beaming with smiles. As time passing, he starts to see every photos in his hands, which brings back memories. Near the Hanjin University, his sister named Sion takes a group photo. His sister complains about his expression. "When will I see you smile, brother?" she asks. She says that it's so frustrating and it's no wonder he is still single. Their mother says that she is worried. about her daughter who is going to live in Seoul all on her own. Seon says that Seoul is safe, and it's not just one or two people who get accepted to universities in Seoul from the provinces and find a place to live. There are countless of them, so she assures her mother that she doesn't need to worry. Shiho speaks up. He tells Seon to draw an infinity sign if something happens to her. Infinity? Seon repeats. In the past, when the two siblings were in trouble, Shiho went to protect his sister. "Why didn't you run away?" "Brother?" Seon asked while crying. In response to that, Shiho smiles and says that it's just because he cares about her infinitely. Back to the present, he says that the infinity sign is just like a 8 lying on its side. Seon doesn't take that seriously. She says that nothing is going to happen to her. She calls her friend Sua and introduces her. She says that Sua is also going to rent a place and live alone. Then, they take a photo together, and with that, Shiho comes out from the old good memories of his. At that moment, something unexpected happens. His phone starts vibrating. In order to get his phone, one of his trophies falls down and gets broken. He sees the message, which shocked him to the core. Upon seeing it, he remembers the news he just heard about the robbers targeting women living alone. His sister messaged him telling him sorry, but it seems that her time has come and she will go first. He immediately calls her, but there is no response and the connection is unavailable, so he dials 112 in order to call the police. The scene changes and we see a guy watching his hands while singing. He has a creepy and scary look as he gets out of the washroom. He says that it was easy. The other person, who seems to be his subordinate, says that he finds it weird that the same thing is drawn over and over again in this notebook. They say that she must be crazy, so they should forget about that and just grab what's important and go. They see that she's still getting calls. The person tosses the notebook inside the room and closes the door. Then we see the girl hanging, seemingly in an act of suicide rather than a murder, and underneath her foot lies the notebook which bears numerous infinity signs. The next scene takes place at the funeral of Seon, Ye Shiho's sister. Everyone is mourning, and Ye Shiho is managing the place. Sua, Seon's friend, and Shiho look at each other. After clearing the crowd, Shiho speaks with Sua. He asks whether she wants to have a bowl. Sua replies that there's no need for it, since she is feeling awful right now. She asks about their mother. Shiho says that his mother is lying down there, as she doesn't have any energy. As she is about to leave, she tells Shiho that he doesn't have to escort her, because she will be all right on her own. While walking, she sees the condolence flowers given by the representative of the Flash named Yoo In-sung. One look at the flower annoys her, and she tells Shiho that she wants to go out, to have a talk. After some time, as they both get out, Shiho asks Sua what she wants to talk about. Sua was biting her nail, and as she looks the calm expression of Shiho, she gets really angry. She asks whether he is not sad at all. She states that Seon said that her brother is like an emotionless psychopath, and it turned out to be true. The word emotionless psychopath brings back memories because previously when Seon was in trouble and Shiho went to rescue her, she said the exact same words. She said while crying and seeing her brother's smile of relief that she thought he was a psychopath. Back to the present, ignoring Sua's question. He again asks Sua what she wants to talk about. "Your sibling just died. How could you be so calm?" Sua asks furiously. Shiho replies that he can't take a long time off because he is in mourning. Lastly, he says that if she doesn't have anything to say, he will take his leave. Sua immediately stands up and goes away without finishing her cup of coffee. Shiho walks inside, and his eyes also fall on the flowers. 3 days later, Shiho goes through his sister's supplementary notebook. He sees the name Yoo In-sung again, and beside his name, he sees the value 1,000,001. He looks at her dressing table and the cupboard which is full of clothes. Then, He sees Xieon's personal notebook and goes through it. He sees Xieon's photo with her friend Sua, and as he flips the pages, he sees something that makes his blood boil. We see the reflection of the infinity signs through Shiho's anguish eyes. At Hanjin University, he is waiting for Sua to come out. "What are you doing here?" Sua asks upon arrival. Shiho shows her the photo and asks her about it. Sua replies that they took it when they were at the club. Shiho coldly says that the place in the photo, it's not the club. Sua feels a little troubled as her eyes tremble. She reminiscent the day when they took the photo. Inside the modern bar flash. Sua was messaging someone and Sion was looking at her typing. Sion said that it gives her the creeps always when she sees someone typing like that. She said, it's the most agonizing moment for her when she sends out sales texts. Then, inside the place allowed only for staff. Sion told Sua that they should take a picture together. Sua tried to reject it by saying that they can't leave any traces that they work here, but Sion conforms her by saying that the customer bought this for her, so they should use it at least once. At the present, Sua confesses that she and Sion work at a bar. Bar? A place that made cocktails? Shiho asks. Sua replies saying yes, that kind of bar. She says that the bar owner is someone who sits next to her and makes small talk, and he is also the man who sent condolence flowers. Is it Flash? Shiho questions coldly. Sua nods, saying that it's not a strange place. The customers just sit next to them and talk. She explains that the customers can't touch the staff, and strange customers are kicked if they do strange things. She says that it's just a part-time job she does to pay her tuition fee. Then Shiho asks whether this is all, or she is still hiding something about Sion. Sua bites her nail, since she is nervous, but as she sees the mystery figure outside the cafe, she immediately gets terrified. She gets shaken to her core as she replies that there is nothing more. Lastly, she stands up and leaves, telling Shiho that she has classes that she needs to attend now. After her departure, Shiho looks at the bandage in his right hand. It was due to his previous actions. As soon as he saw the infinity signs, he started punching the door in his room until his fist started to bleed. Due to the amount of times he had punched the door, he had created a hole and tore the pages which bore the infinity signs. He is absolutely certain that it was not a suicide. After that, he goes to a detective named Lim to report that his sister has been murdered. The detective asks for proof. Shiho replies that he and his sister agreed to alert each other, with an infinity sign if they were in danger. How do you send this sign on text? The officer asks. Shiho says they made this agreement back in high school, so just typing the number 8 would do. The person then asks why his sister alerted him rather than the police. Shiho replies that his sister couldn't bring herself to tell him about working at a bar, so it seems like she wrote it in a notebook instead. The officer says that since her funeral was held, she must have been cremated, and an autopsy would be required to know whether it was murder or suicide. But when the initial death report came in, Shiho's family ruled it as suicide and opposed an autopsy. Shiho agreed with it, saying that his mother was against it, so they opposed autopsy. Anyway, the officer says that once someone is cremated, there's no way to go back and they can't start an investigation without any leads. Shiho states that he suspects his sister's job at the bar might be related, so he tells them to at least interview people connected to the bar. Both of them glare at each other for a moment. The officer says that this won't work. Although Shiho has a solid alibi, he is usually the most suspicious one in this kind of situation since he doesn't have any emotions to show. Lastly, he tells Shiho bring them something more concrete. Otherwise, they can't start an investigation. Then, Shiho stands up in order to leave, saying that he understood. As he is about to leave, he has been mocked by the officer. The officer says that he finds it unbelievable that anyone can play detective these days, but Shiho quietly leaves the area, thinking about his next destination, Flash. He finds the modern bar Flash using Google Map and enters. The security guard welcomes him, asking whether he is looking for someone specifically. Shiho replies that this is his first time, so the guard willingly offers to show him the way. Meanwhile, the owner of this place is talking with someone with his phone. While walking, Shiho takes notes precisely that at the basement level 1, about 20 steps down, 5 meters from the entrance to the counter. At the counter is the male owner. In the center of the store, there's a hall in the center and rooms with curtains along the walls. Is there only one entrance for outsiders? He wonders. Soon enough, he is attended by a girl. The girl compliments Shiho, saying that he is good-looking and questions whether he has been here before. Shiho replies that this is his first time coming here, so the girl explains that this is a rotation-based seating bar where the customer can only chat and no touching is allowed. Shiho quickly moves on the main topic. He asks her whether she knows someone named Sion. The girl replies she knows Sion by the name Arumi. The girl says that Arumi doesn't work here anymore. She fakes a smile while saying that she is not sure because Arumi quit this job a long time ago. Shiho noticed that when she smiled, her eyes were stiff, and the corners of her mouth were forced, which proves that they know something. "What would you like to drink or snack on?" the girl asks. Shiho points at the thing he wants, and the girl leaves, saying that she will send the others in with his orders. She hurriedly gets out sweating and informs the male owner that the customer is looking for Arumi. "Arumi," the owner repeats. She says that by Arumi, she means Sion. The owner smirks, remembering clearly that he heard Shiho saying that it was his first time, when he was on the phone. To be precise, he was on the call with Detective Lim, who informed him about the case beforehand. The girl asks whether she should just send him away by saying that they are fully booked. The owner replies that it's not necessary. He orders her to just tell the kids not to talk about Sion and just make them say they don't know anything about her. "What about Soyeon?" he asks. By Soyeon, he means Sua, who is Sion's friend. The girl replies that since what happened to Arumi, Sua is not coming to work anymore. The owner, who is also known as the director, smiles as he says that this new customer of theirs is probably trying to dig something up, so they should just act like they don't know anything. Then Shiho asks the staff one after the other about Arumi. They all make some excuses to fend off the questions. After a long time chatting, he is completely drunk. Not a single person knows, he thinks. The same woman, who greeted him first, comes inside, asking whether he would like to have more. Shiho replies that he is leaving, and he hands over his card to pay the bill. The girl gets out to pay the bill. She whispers to the owner that it looks like the customer didn't find anything. After her departure, the owner smirks as he takes his phone to make a call. He thinks that it would be better to put this unknown investigator in a spot where he can't wander off. After that, both the woman and the guard bid Shiho farewell, telling him to come again. Shiho walks in the street like a typical drunkard. As he is walking, we see 3 unknown people who look like thugs are following him. Shiho stops midway and glares at them angrily for a moment without them noticing. He stops and pretends to pick the posture, giving them a signal to approach. The group of 3 immediately approaches Shiho and tells him to go over there to the alley by pointing at it. They take him to a dark corner and push him against the wall. Shiho notices that his opponents are 3 in number, and this alley is 1.5 meter wide. He concludes that it would be difficult to take 3 of them at once. "Why aren't you talking?" one of the thugs asks. Meanwhile, Shiho is thinking, whether this is just a simple robbery, or is there another motive? The guy is about to make a move, but Shiho speaks up. He states that he doesn't have any money. The bald guy says there is no way a person is walking in this street without any money. The other guy at the back suggests to break Shiho's legs so that he can't walk around here. The term, break his legs, catches Shiho's attention. He perceives that this might be related to the inquiries he made at the bar about Sion's whereabouts. The main boss says that if Shiho somehow manages to leave alive, it'll cost him 10-1 per hit. Then our MC brings out his weapon, which is a fold paper, and takes a fighting stance. After seeing this, every one of them laughs at Shiho, telling him that the thing he is holding right now isn't a knife but paper, calling him a complete drunkard. Whereas Shiho angrily warns them to back off, or else they will face the consequences, but the thugs take the warning slightly and get ready to fight. At the same time, the owner of the bar is wondering whether the issue has been settled by now. He decides to go to check the CCTV. He enters the room after giving the password and sits in the chair. At camera number 5, he sees that his man hasn't completed his task yet. "I told them to break one of his legs. What's taking so long?" he asks himself. In the camera, for the owner it seems Shiho is holding a knife instead of the paper. Presently at the alley, Shiho repeats that he clearly warned them before attacking his first opponent. He attacks the vital points of the enemy, completely overwhelming him. After finishing the first guy, he moves extremely fast, as if he vanished for a second. He passes the second guy and goes for the bald guy. With the paper, he slashes the enemy's bald head with a downward vertical slash which makes the guy faint. The last thug asks what's inside the paper while sweating. Shiho replies that it's just a piece of paper. The man takes out his knife. He says that he will make Shiho crippled today. In a blink of an eye, Shiho deflects his opponent's knife, and it falls down. The deadly look in Shiho's eyes and his stance of holding a shinai instead of a paper terrifies the man before him. Then he ends the issue using his last strike. At the same moment, Yu In-sung, the owner, who has been watching the entire footage in the CCTV room, seems to be puzzled. Meanwhile, Shiho leaves the area. What's with his guy? He wonders and immediately leaves to make a call. He tells his underlings to find where Shiho leaves. He gives them a threat that they should find the location right now. Inside his sister's room, Shiho realizes, by judging Sua's reaction at that time, that she definitely knows something. He clenches his injured fist in anger, which results in bleeding. Previously, after Sua's departure at the coffee shop, Shiho positions himself exactly as Sua. He remembers her giving a scary stare when she looked out the window. Then, is there someone following and keeping an eye on Sua? He wonders. Moreover, the thugs that attacked him last time can't be a coincidence either. He thinks that he should have grabbed one and taken him to the police station. Anyway, he concludes that clearly Sua knows something. He wonders whether it would put him in danger if he goes looking for Sua again. At the director's house, his phone is ringing. In-sung picks it up and sees that it's one of his underlings. The informant says that he found out about Sion's brother. Accordingly, his name is Ye Shiho. While organizing his younger sister's things, he's currently staying at the studio where she used to live. His mother is at Gangneung Hospital in Gangneung, and Ye Shiho is alone in Seoul. The informant guesses that Shiho's mom collapsed after hearing the news about her daughter. Yu In-sung angrily asks whether Shiho is living where Sion used to live. The caller replies saying yes. Originally, the plan was to organize and go down, but Shiho decided to stay put. Lastly, he mentions that there's a unique thing about Shiho, that he is a kendo champion. Furthermore, he says that kendo in Korea seems to be a recreational sport without practical application. But still, since Shiho is a champion, he is waiting for In-sung's orders. "Shall we bury him?" he asks. In-sung says that Detective Lim said to lay low for now, so they should stand by for now. After their conversation, the director searches for kendo on his mobile. He sees that kendo isn't popular in their country, and that's why there are only a few short articles. By tossing the phone away, he thinks that leaving Shiho alone could be problematic, so he wonders how should he quietly resolve this. At the same time, Shiho is training, thinking about the same old day when they were in high school. After dealing with this misfortune, Xion asked her brother, what should she do if this happens again in the future? At that time, also Shiho told her to draw an infinity symbol and send it to him, or she can just write the number 8, too. When other people were approaching to harm his sister, previously and presently at both times, he said and thinks that he will handle everything, and with this resolve, he is moving forward. At that moment, someone knocks at his door. He opens it and sees that it's the male owner. "What brings you here today?" he asks. In-sung replies that the studio that Sion was renting, he got it for her through the store. He thought it was time to move out, so he talked to the landlord, but the landlord replied that someone was there. Shiho informs that sorting his sister's belongings is not finished yet, since he got the chance to speak with the owner personally. He talks about the condolence money list. There's 1,000,000 won under the name Flash. He asks whether the owner made that contribution. Yu In-sung says that it was him because he felt terrible about hearing the news about Sion's suicide. "And why is that?" Shiho inquires. In-sung says that Sion was really popular. "Because of that, scout offers used to come from here and there. He tried hard not to let her get snatched away, but she got scouted to a place called 10 Pro. Shiho lets him inside since In-sung was giving good information. Shiho asks about the 10 Pro. In-sung explains that it's like the final boss of entertainment establishments. There's no second round. It's just a place to chat. But he heard that Sion suffered a humiliating incident there. He says that he wonders if that could be the reason she committed suicide. He tells Shiho that he is sorry that he failed to properly protect her. By noticing the constantly moving hands, a tongue wetting dry lips, and an unstable gaze, Shiho perceives that the director is lying. Lastly, the owner tries to give some money in an envelope, saying that it's his sincerely, but Shiho mentions that Sion was murdered. Shiho makes a bait by lying. He says that the funeral was held without a body, and an autopsy was requested. The owner's countenance changes for a brief moment, thinking that an autopsy will reveal everything. Shiho mentions that they are supposed to get the body back tomorrow morning. The results will probably come out tomorrow too, and he decides to go to the police station tomorrow with the autopsy results. Since Yu In-sung was finding nothing to say, he states that he will help Shiho with all his heart and quickly leaves the room. At the parking area, he thinks that he can't predict whether Shiho is bluffing or not, since Shiho expressions have been the same throughout their conversation. But what if it's true, he thinks. He calls his guys. He tells them to bury Shiho tonight. "Kill him!" he repeats angrily. He tells them to clean up thoroughly afterwards. Since their opponent is a kendo champ, he suggests them to take a good number of guys. The one he called replies that by this time the In-sung must have realized the skill of their group. The mission receiver says that they will make it look like a clean suicide. Meanwhile, from the window, Shiho was looking at the owner's car. He goes to the washroom and looks at the toilet brush, which might be his next weapon. Day ends. Evening comes. Night, and lastly, midnight. The perfect time to stage a murder. The assassin comes in a black car. The one with a creepy smile, which previously killed Shiho's sister, gets out of the car. He says that it looks like they have to kill both the siblings with their own hands. The person who was his duo during the last murder says that they had to bring 4 people instead of 2. They all get ready to head in. Meanwhile, Shiho was quietly waiting for their arrival beside the window. At the instant, he saw them coming. He positions himself to fight. He calculates that there is 177 square feet of actual floor space. The luggage is organized, but it's still cramped. No more than 2 enemies could enter at a time, too. The back is a wall, so he only has to deal with the enemies by moving 1 step each to the front, left, and right. He wonders whether they know the passcode. He then realizes that the owner was the one who gave his sister this room to leave, so definitely they will the passcode. At the same time, In-sung is having a conversation with Detective Lim. In-sung says that since Shiho said that he ordered an autopsy, which is obviously a lie, In-sung sent his kids to take care of Shiho, because if Shiho's words are true, they will be screwed. In-sung says that the reason he called the detective is because that he would like the help this time also. Lim says that as long as it's done cleanly like last time, the police shouldn't be able to do anything, so he just suggests to take care of the cleanup properly. "Thank you. Will one bill be enough?" Yoo In-sung asks. The detective replies that he will get in trouble, so he advises to put it on his tab for now. He will give it to In-sung all at once later. Lastly, the detective tells In-sung to maintain his life cycle because he tends to wake up in afternoon. Meanwhile, the four assassins enters Seon's apartments using the passcode. They say that they will get attached to this place at this point. Upon entering, the one with the creepy smile who seems to be the boss, in their group see that Shiho is not in his bed, so he alerted everybody. His subordinate says that they have been watching the whole time, so Shiho hasn't left this place. They start to check the place in order to find their target. Someone notices the motion sensor. He sees that it's going on and off, which is annoying, so they should just turn on the light. Suddenly, the motion sensor gets lit fully, and finally they get to see their target before them, who intentionally revealed himself. "Who are you?" Shiho asks. He says that if it's theft, they came to the wrong place because there's nothing to take from here. The boss replies saying no, there is, and it's his life. He says that they are blocking the front door so Shiho has nowhere to run. Shiho informs that he trained in martial arts. He doesn't want to hurt people, so he will give them a chance. He tells them to go back, but all them started to laugh after hearing it. The boss tells Shiho to die, and he will take care of the rest. Shiho states that it's not polite to play with the weak, so he will end it in one go. He immediately deals the first strike, and his first opponent is the black cap guy who starts to bleed, and due to the impactful heat, the brush stick breaks a little. The other two start to charge at Shiho with their knives. The motion sensor plays a vital role in this battle. Due to it, Shiho knows exactly where to strike. With a single strike, he deflects both the knives of his opponent and swiftly deals with them. The motion sensor goes off, since there is no movement, and it turns on, due to the trembling of the last assassin. As the sensor goes off again, Shiho makes his moves and deflects his opponent's knife and goes near him. He holds the brush stick near his enemy's throat. Finally, he deals with all four of them, making them unconscious. Shiho then takes the three intruders to the police station. The police officer there tells Shiho that this three has no criminal records. Shiho tells the officer that these three threatened him, that they will take his life. Taking the intruder's side, the officer asked Shiho to prove his words by showing any evidence, for example, video recording or something like that. Shiho replies he has none. The officer then says there they can't take his claims as he has no proof. He further says that the only offense they had done is trespassing. However, Shiho, utilizing excess force to defend himself, is a more serious crime. Shiho is confused and asked what he is saying. The officer said to Shiho that he wielded a weapon and beat them up recklessly. One of them was sent to the hospital with a broken collarbone. So according to the law, Shiho is in deeper trouble. Hearing this, one of the three intruders starts to cry and says to hurry up as he has to go to the hospital. Shiho can't understand anything. He lowers his head and tells the officer that he was genuinely defending himself against trespassers in his own home, and he merely caught and reported them to the police. The police tells him that that's not how law works in Korea, and right now he is a suspect. A suspect, Shiho asked. Since you were wielding a weapon, it's considered aggravated assault. It is a serious crime. Do you get it? The officer tells this to him. After that, a while later, the officer and the police takes Yeshiho to a cell and locked him up. Yeshiho can't process what's going on. Mr. Yeshiho, your registered address is in Gangneung, but you've been staying Seoul, which constitutes you as a vagrant, so don't misunderstand why you're being placed in the holding cell. The officer says this to Yeshiho and takes his leave. Yeshiho is not alone in the cell. A man was already there lying on the floor. The man then asked Yeshiho that why he is here. Yeshiho looks at him for a glance and didn't say anything. The man then says that he can take a rough guess, seeing as that rascal is handling this personally. He asked Yeshiho if he is here because of Director Yu. Yeshiho then looks at the man. The man sits up and says that a hole is in cahoots with the police under Director Yu. It's no coincidence he's on duty today. They've already struck a deal to cover up for him. The man then insists Yeshiho to tell him about it and he will get him out of here. Yeshiho gets closer to the man and asked him if he knows Director Yu. The man replies, I do. We used to be family, but he's a real son of a bitch. He then tells Yeshiho that he has called a lawyer, so he should be here soon. He further says that if Yeshiho's behavior satisfies him, he'll get him out. Saying this, he asked Yeshiho the reason why he is in here. Yeshiho then starts to tell the man about his incident. The scene shifts, and we can see Directive is talking to Yu. He is scolding him and tells him that even though he has put Yeshiho in, but he don't know how long he can hold him, he warns Yu not to cause any more trouble as he won't be able to handle more. On the other hand, Yeshiho tells his story to the man. Seeing Yeshiho's expression, the man gets that what he has said is the truth. The man then tells Yeshiho that he has picked up the wrong opponent. He tells Yeshiho that Yu's backing is strong and there is no way a normal person can go against them. Is there a way if it isn't an ordinary person? Yeshiho asked. The man removes his glasses and says that he has to break the law for that. Yeshiho stares and requests him to tell him more about that side of things. The man cleans his glasses and stands up and says that first of all he will introduce him. He says that his name is Do Kyung-gu, and he runs a small karaoke bar in Sinsadong. The man shies a bit and tells Yeshiho that he can also say that he is thug. Yeshiho asked Do Kyung-gu that if he is a gangster. The man smiles and says that he was part of an organization, and he is in here because of a false accusation. He further says that Director Yu's people occasionally interfere with his business. They usually report it as an illegal establishment, and sometimes even for drugs. So he gets caught, prove his innocence, get released, and the cycle repeats itself. Now he is used to it and it doesn't bother him at all. Then Director Yu is also a thug, and you're saying that the both of you aren't on good terms now. Yeshiho says this. Do Kyung-gu says that the Director Yu is not a problem at all. However, the person behind Yu is the real deal. There's a guy known as Representative Yoon. He struck down and killed the boss. We used to serve and seized all the power. When it occurred, Do Kyung-gu parted ways with them saying that he can't stay with traitors. Yeshiho asked, how come he didn't face any legal punishment even after killing someone? Do Kyung-gu laughs and says that Representative Yoon is a scary person. He then tells Yeshiho that it seems like that both of them become friends, so if it is okay for him to talk casually with him, as he is also in his early 30s. Yeshiho says that he can talk comfortably as he is older than him. After that, both of them spent their time talking to each other. Do Kyung-gu tells Yeshiho that nobody talked about his sister because Yoon is behind it and he is person who gets rid of those who are unfavorable to him. Yeshiho asked if there is a way he can meet up with that person. Do Kyung-gu laughs and says, you can't meet him. Only those at a certain level can. You only have one option to do so. Yeshiho asked, what is it? Start a power struggle and push your way in. Do Kyung-gu says this. He further tells Yeshiho that he has to be prepared to go to prison and he might have to kill someone. Do Kyung-gu advise him not to do that. As he has only one life, he tells him to accept this and move on. At that time, the directive comes and tells Dukyong-gu to come out. Dukyong-gu gets up, and while leaving, he tells Ye Shiho to wait, as he will talk to his lawyer and get him out. Later, both of them gets out of the cell. As Ye Shiho thanks Dukyong-gu, he says, "What for? You were forcibly detained in the first place. If my guess is right, as long as Representative Yoon is involved, they can't even proceed with your case." Dukyong-gu then takes his business card and give it to Ye Shiho and tells him that the next time they meet, the drinks will be on him. Ye Shiho receives it with thanks. Dukyong-gu then shows his wallet and tells him that he has no money on him. He asked Ye Shiho if he can provide him some if he has. Ye Shiho takes out a bundle of money and gives it to Dukyong-gu. Dukyong-gu just takes a note from there and tells Ye Shiho to keep the rest as this will suffice. The scene shifts and we can see Representative Yoon. He is in his office and Director Yu has come to him. At first he talks to Yu casually, but after hearing this incident he gets annoyed. He sits in the chair and gives an intimidating look and asked Yu that what is he doing when he can easily crush them to death. Yu is scared and can't utter a word. Representative Yoon asked him that what's he going to do about it. On Ye Shiho's side, he bids farewell to Dukyong-gu and looks at the card and sees that the name of the karaoke that Dukyong-gu run is Again. Director Yu tells Yoon that Directive Lim tells him to lay low as he won't be able to handle anymore, so for the time being there is nothing he can do. Yoon glares and says that he shouldn't have failed in the first place. Yu apologizes for it. The guy that she calls Appa. In Korea, beating someone up like that wouldn't be considered self-defense, right? Yoon asked. Hearing this, Director Yu suggests that they should formally file a lawsuit. After thinking this for a while, Yoon says that it will be risky as it can also expose him. Yoon then asked Yoo In-sung that if he aware that he is 5 years younger than him. Yoo In-sung replies that he is. Hearing this, Yoon says, "Do I have to spoon-feed you every little thing? Talk to Lim Han-soo and get this handled like it never happened. He'll do it if you give him 2 million won, and that bastard's house is in Gangneung, right?" Yoo In-sung replies, "Yes," and says that his mom is in hospital. Yoon takes a cigar and sniffs it. He tells Yoo In-sung that as his mother is in hospital, the house is empty. Yoon tells Yoo In-sung to burn the house and make it look like some neighbor kids find the house vacant and they went to smoke in and accidentally the house catch on fire. Yoon also tells Yoo to take a photo of the mom with a sashimi knife to her throat and send it to that Appa bastard. Yoo In-sung gets nervous to see the sinister smile of Representative Yoon. Yoon then asked if the sister had any debt. Yoo In-sung replies that the sister has no debt and she has never asked for an advanced payment. Listening this, Yoon tells to make some debt and tell her mom to pay it. Yoo In-sung says that he will starts the work right away. Yoon then give him a warning, saying that he don't need people who are useless. At that time, the telephone rings and Yoon picks it up and asked how did it go. From the other side, a voice says that they are draining the blood now and all. 4 of them are alive. The voice also asked what they should do with them. Yoon orders to slaughter them as he don't need them, as he says that we can hear screamings of people. Yoon then cut the call and looks at Yoo In-sung. Yoo In-sung is scared and he is sweating. Yoon asked him that what he is looking at. Yoo In-sung says that it's nothing and he will be going to Gangneung to take care of it. Yoo In-sung then bows down and leaves hurriedly. The scene shifts and we can see Yoo In-sung in the car. He is tensed. He tells his driver to drive quickly, as the driver says that it's the top speed. Yoo gets mad and he shouts at the driver to step on the accelerator further. The driver gets scared and drives quickly, and by the evening time they reach the hospital. Inside we can see Ye Shiho's mother lying in the bed, and she seems completely broken. A lady who is her attendant brings lunch for Het, but Ye Shiho's mother refused to eat. The lady tells her that at this rate she will starve to death. At that time, Yoo In-sung knocks the door and enters. He says that he is acquainted with her daughter Shieon, and he has come to see her after hearing that she has been admitted to the hospital. Yeshiho is so weak that she can't speak properly. The lady helps her to sit up. Yu In-sung then gives the lady a parcel and tells her to leave them alone for a moment as he's something to discuss in private. The lady says that she can't speak, so how will he talk with her? Yu In-sung tells her that he will just relay a message. Yeshiho's mother uses her hand and tells the lady to leave. The lady they leaves them alone. As the lady leaves, Yu In-sung gives an angry look and walks towards Yeshiho's mother and tells her that her daughter owes him some money and he shows her the contract. He tells her that Shi Yeon took 200 million won in advance and since she died he can't collect his money. Hearing this, Yeshiho's mother starts to cry. Yu then tells her that this is a contract for room salon. He asked her if she knows what a room salon is. Yu In-sung gives a sinister smile and says, "Your daughter is using her physical appearance to earn money. She went all out on me. You get why I'm here now." Yeshiho's mother cries and mumbles. Yu In-sung gets closer and says that she has to pay him. Yeshiho's mother shouts out of agony. Yu In-sung asked her that what she is doing. The lady muster all her strength and says that her daughter is not that kind of girl. She stops crying and looks at Yu and says that her daughter is not that kind of girl. Yu In-sung gets mad as he grabs her hair and says, "No, she's exactly that kind of girl. A vile woman that will do anything with anyone for a little money. Guess she takes after you," as Yu In-sung pulls her hair and curses her daughter. Yeshiho's mother can't take it, and she lost her life out of sorrow. You see this, and he leaves the hair. The body collapses on the bed. Seeing this, Yu In-sung gets shocked. At night, we can see Yeshiho is sitting in his room. He is holding Do Kyung-goo's business card and thinks what he should do, as he can't rise to the level of gangster. First, he decides to give up, and after thinking of his sister, he can't let it go. At that time, the phone rings. Yeshiho picks up the call and says hello. The call is for the hospital in which his mother was admitted. The hospital gives him that heartbreaking news of his mother dead. The scene shifts, and we can see Yu In-sung is sitting in his car. He calls Yoon and tells him about the incident. Yoon asked if he really killed her. Yu In-sung replies that he didn't kill her. He just threatened her simply, and sudden she passed away. Hearing this, Yoon tells Yu to claim the debt from Yeshiho. Yu In-sung says that he can't, to that as Yeshiho already knows his face, and he is a suspect to him. Yoon gets mad hearing this and shouts at Yu In-sung. Yu gets scared, and he says that he will take care of that with the house. The call cuts, and Yu In-sung wonders that he should do. Seeing him troubled, the driver tells him to call Director Choi as he lives in this neighborhood. Hearing this, Yu In-sung gets excited. Later, we can see Yeshiho is holding his mother's memorial ceremony. Yeshiho is sitting in a corner looking sad. At that time, a person come to him saying that someone is here to meet with him. The lady who was Yeshiho's mother caregiver has come. She greets Yeshiho. Yeshiho then asked her, how is she acquainted with the deceased? The lady replies that she was her mother's caregiver. Yeshiho tells her to sit in the dining and have something. Afterwards, the lady and Yeshiho both sit in the dining. The lady seems tensed. Yeshiho thanks her for taking care of her mother. The lady says to Yeshiho that someone come to meet his mother on that day. Yeshiho tells her to elaborate. The lady says that the man entered the room and tells her to leave as he has something to talk in private with his mother. After that, she left. As she gets out of the room, she gets scared to see that a scary man was standing beside the door. The man tells her to go far away. The lady gets scared and leaves quickly. The person in the room was neat, but the person who was standing outside seems like a thug. After she left them, she could hear screaming from the room. However, as she turns back at that time, the scary man shouts and tells her to go away. She says that she gets scared and leave the place. After 10 minutes, she returns and found his mother's death body, and the people left without leaving any trace. Hearing this, Yeshiho gets angry and he clenches fist. At that time, some noise come to his ears. As he turns, he sees that some thugs has come and starts a ruckus. They tells the people to leave and starts to break the decoration. They also insults her sister, says that she was adult entertainment worker. The men then walks towards Ye Shiho. Ye Shiho ask they that how did they get here? The men starts to mock him. The yellow-haired man, who seems to be the leader, asked Ye Shiho, is he if the chief mourner, and if this dead woman is her mother? Ye Shiho stood expressionlessly. The man taps Ye Shiho's neck and asked why he didn't get angry, as people usually gets mad when someone talk about their mother. The man in red shirt says that he is too scared to say anything. The other thugs drive all the people out to the hall. The yellow-haired man then tells Ye Shiho that his younger sister entered a room salon in Seoul, and there she took a debt of 200 million won, and now with interest he owes 300 million won from his sister. He tells Ye Shiho to pay him. Ye Shiho speaks up and says that can't be true. The man gets angry and starts to kick the table. He taps Ye Shiho's face and says why it can't be. He then slaps Ye Shiho slowly and continues saying that his sister didn't tell the truth to the family as she was embarrassed. Ye Shiho's face turns red and blood starts to come out of his mouth. The man holds Ye Shiho's tie and asks him how he will pay the debt. Ye Shiho says that he had a house. The man says that he know that, and he looked into everything, but that house burned down. The man then looks at Ye Shiho's face and sees no change in his expression. He then asked why his expression didn't change after hearing the bad news. The man's subordinate tells him that people freeze by when they are in too shock. Ye Shiho then speaks up and says that he has quite a bit of cash in the safe, and he asked for their location. The man gets closer and asked when will he bring it. Ye Shiho replies, after the funeral, he will bring the money to them. The man grabs Ye Shiho's neck and pulls him closer and says, can't you assess the situation? Should I open the coffin? Ye Shiho then tells him that he will bring the money before 12. The man then throws his business card and leaves. The man's name is Choi Young Cheol. He is the one that Yu In-sung was talking about. The man and this gang leaves the hall. Later at 11:50 p.m. in the rainy night, Ye Shiho is walking. He come in front of Choi Young Cheol's location and stops in front of the building. He then takes out his shinai and gets ready for the battle. Inside the building, we can see Choi is sitting and watching his phone. He asked his subordinate if the funeral is closed. It's 12 a.m. The bald guy says that the funeral is closed, and he asked if Ye Shiho will really come. Choi smiles and says, if he don't show up, he is good as death. The bald guy then says, is it really necessary to gather all the members in the room? Choi Young Cheol says that they are all gathered here so they can intimidate Ye Shiho as he enters. On the other side, we can see Ye Shiho is climbing the stairs. At that time, his teacher calls. He picks up the call as says hello. The teacher says sorry for not being able to present in the funeral as he had a kendo competition in Japan. He further says that he is looking for the next flight and he will be there in the next tomorrow. Ye Shiho tells him that it's fine. He tells him that he has something to do. So he hangs up. After cutting the call, he slowly walks towards the room. It's 12:03 a.m. Choi Young Cheol wonders if Ye Shiho is not going to come. The member starts to think that he run away. The bald guy apologizes for not keeping his eyes on Ye Shiho. Choi then calls director Yu In-sung and tells him that Ye Shiho ran away. Yu scolds him for being careless and not take care of him the funeral. Choi replies that in the funeral hall there were lots of eyes and CCTV, so he couldn't take action. As Choi is taking to Yu at that time, Ye Shiho comes there and starts to knock the door. Choi then cut the call, saying that he will call back. He signals the bald guy to open the door. The guy opens the door and see Ye Shiho is standing with his shinai. As Ye Shiho walks in, everybody give looks at him. Choi smiles and asks him, where is the money? Ye Shiho replies he don't have it. Choi gets angry and shouts, what do mean you don't have it? Ye Shiho remains calm and asked Choi Young Cheol who is his backing. Choi give a angry looks. He then gets up and tells his boys to give him a round of beating. Hearing the order, The men in the room surrounds Ye Shiho. The men smiles at him. They are ready to beat him up with the iron rods in their hands. Choi tells Ye Shiho that if he thinks that they are just doing this to sacre him, then he is completely wrong. He further tells him that the doors are locked and he can't run anywhere. He is like a rat in a trap. The scene shifts, and we can see a short past of Ye Shiho. In his kendo competition, he defeated all the players in less than 20 seconds, and by doing that, he had reached a different level. Back to the present, Ye Shiho takes a deep breath. The bald man swings the iron rod. Ye Shiho also moves his shinai and hits the man's hand. His attack is so powerful that the man's hand starts to bleed. As the man screams in pain, Ye Shiho hits him in the neck and knocks him out. Seeing this, the others rush to attack. Ye Shiho looks for a gap and he rushed and knocks out one of them. Seeing his ability, the men get shocked. Ye Shiho didn't stop. He launched 3 consecutive attacks and injured 3 men. Seeing this bloody scene, the men gets terrorized. They stand still. Ye Shiho sees this and directly attacks their head, and man musters some courage and jumps to attack. Ye Shiho uses his shinai and stabs at the man's neck. The others are unable to move. A man shouts. Ye Shiho strikes on the neck and quits him. Now only a few men are left. They are scared, and Choi Young-cheol is also in great shock. As Ye Shiho moves forwards, the men starts to back off. Choi Young-cheol is sweating out of fear. He tells his man to go and quickly kill him. Ye Shiho takes his stance and inhales deeply, and then rushes to attack. It is raining heavily outside. Ye Shiho kicks a man, and he broke out of the window and hit the ground. Blood spreads all over the road. Ye Shiho successful knocks out all the men. Now Choi is the only one left. Ye Shiho stands in front of Choi's desk and gives a frown look. Choi is scared, and he begs to spare him. Ye Shiho asked him who is behind him. Choi hesitates to tells, but as Ye Shiho raises his shinai, Choi tells him that it's a counterfeit. Ye Shiho asked him what he means by counterfeit. Choi says, "They said they'd sell 2 billion won worth of bonds for 5,000. I thought they were real when I bought them. I don't know anything more. I swear." Ye Shiho points his shinai at him and asked him to tells about this counterfeiter. Choi replies, "He's in Seoul. He's rolling a few bars in Seoul. That's all I know." Hearing this, the only person that comes to Ye Shiho's mind is Yoon Sung. Now that Ye Shiho has got his answer, he starts to leave. Choi feels a bit relief. He slowly stands and starts to follow Ye Shiho. As Ye Shiho is about to open the door, Choi ambushed him with a knife. Ye Shiho sees this and he turns quickly and strikes at Choi's hand. The knife flies away, and now Choi is full of openings. Ye Shiho then starts the beating. He first strikes the head, then next goes to the neck and beats Choi up until he lost his consciousness. This is the first time we can see Ye Shiho making such an angry face. Later in the next morning, we can see Ye Shiho's has come to the funeral hall. As he arrives, he looks at Ye Shiho's mother picture with a sad face. At that time, his phone rings. As he looks at it, he sees Ye Shiho has messaged him. Ye Shiho tells him that he won't be able to contact him due to his heart condition. He also tells his teacher that he has sent all the money he has to his account and tells him to complete the funeral with this. Lastly, he apologizes for his inconvenience and tells him that he will meet his someday. Ye Shiho's teacher wonders what the hell is Ye Shiho thinking. The scene shifts, and we can see Ye Shiho is walking. He seems to be looking for something. He is trying to find the Again karaoke building. After looking for a while, he finally comes in front to Again. He gets inside and Do Kyung-gu welcome him. As Do Kyung-gu sees him, he gets a bit surprised. Ye Shiho tells him that he is here for the drink that Do Kyung-gu promised him. Do Kyung-gu then tells him to come inside. He points the way and tells Ye Shiho to sit there as he will be introducing him to the prettiest girl they have. Ye Shiho goes and sits there quietly. After a while, Do Kyung-gu comes in with a bottle of drink and some ice. He asked Ye Shiho that why he came so early as the employees usually come at 8. Yeshiho tells Do Kyung-gu to leave the girls aside as he has a favor to ask. Do Kyung-gu then sits and asks what he wants from him. Yeshiho tells him that he wants to work here. Huh? We don't have room for another employee, though, Do Kyung-gu replies. Yeshiho tries to convince him and tells him that he don't need salary, he will just need a place to sleep and eat. Do Kyung-gu is confused. He asked Yeshiho why is getting so desperate for this job. Yeshiho lowers his head and stays silent. Do Kyung-gu gets that Yeshiho is getting through a lot. He passed the drink and tells Yeshiho that it would be hard for him to help him out. Yeshiho speaks up and says, "At that time, you suggested one way." Hearing this, Do Kyung-gu thinks of the idea about starting the power struggle. Do Kyung-gu asked Yeshiho if he by chance thinking of that idea. As Yeshiho stays silent, Do Kyung-gu laughs and says he can't believe it. "Since you also view Director Yoon as a traitor, I'll back you up. Even though our motives differ, our end goal is the same," Yeshiho says this. Hearing this, Do Kyung-gu laughs and says, "This guy is hilarious. All right, let's just grab a drink. You're talking nonsense." Yeshiho calls Do Kyung-gu Hyung-nim, means big bro, and gives him a serious look. Now Do Kyung-gu also gets serious. He asked Yeshiho if he has lost his mind. As Yeshiho didn't answer, Do Kyung-gu gets up and leaves, saying that this isn't a place for civilians to be wandering around. "If anyone hears what you just said, you're a dead man. I'll pretend I didn't hear it." After Do Kyung-gu leaves, Yeshiho sits alone silently. He then drinks the full bottle and lost his consciousness. After a while, Do Kyung-gu come along with a girl. They both tried to wake Yeshiho up, but he is so drunk that he was unable to get up. He gains his consciousness slightly, and as he sees the girl, he starts to shout, "Shion, you are alive!" The girl asked him that, how he knows her name. But before answering that, Yeshiho again lost his consciousness. After a while, Yeshiho wakes up. Do Kyung-gu is still there. Yeshiho apologizes to him. Do Kyung-gu tells him that he didn't realize that he would be broken so easily. Yeshiho stays silent. As Do Kyung-gu is about to leave, Yeshiho tells him that his mother passed away. "My condolences," Do Kyung-gu says. Yeshiho says that they killed her. Hearing this, Do Kyung-gu stops. Yeshiho further says that they disrespected the deceased and made a scene at the funeral. Do Kyung-gu looks at him. He don't know what to say in this situation. Yeshiho is angry. He clenches his fist. He then puts on his cap and tells Do Kyung-gu that he is sorry for the trouble. Saying this, he starts to leave. As Yeshiho is about to open the door, Do Kyung-gu tells him to wait for a bit. Do Kyung-gu says that he is a real troublemaker. He asked Yeshiho if he has a place to go. Yeshiho says he don't have one. Listening this, Do Kyung-gu says, "Don't know why I'm soft-hearted, but you can work here. If you have nowhere else, you can sleep here. It's the hideout we used during the crackdowns." Yeshiho asks what is the crackdown. There's no reason for them now, but there used to be. "We made this place back then," Do Kyung-gu says this. Yeshiho stare at the cue stick that is displayed. Seeing this, Do Kyung-gu tells him not to do anything to this as it's quite expensive. Do Kyung-gu then tells Yeshiho some things that he shouldn't do. Firstly, he warns Yeshiho not to go in Representative Yoon territory and say something stupid. He tells Yeshiho that from now on, he is the manager of this store, so he should just focus on this. Lastly, Yeshiho should listen on his orders only. Yeshiho agrees to all of this. After that, Do Kyung-gu asked Yeshiho that how did he know the name Shion. Hearing this, Yeshiho gets a bit embarrassed. The scene shifts, we can see the girl named Shiyeon. She comes to the store and sits on sofa and talks to Yeshiho. Yeshiho first apologized for the misbehaving with her. Shiyeon says it's okay. She then asked Yeshiho that if the person he mixed up with her is his ex-girlfriend. Yeshiho again says sorry and tells her that he will be careful with his words. Hearing this, Shion screams and makes a shocking face. Ye Shiho asked her what's wrong. Shion replies that his way of speaking is too old-fashioned, and hearing this give her goosebumps. Ye Shiho feels shy and lowers his head, saying nothing. Shion then comes towards him and advises him not to appear weak, as they are the ones that gets hunted first. I appreciate the advice, Ye Shiho says. After that, the two of them talks for more. Later, at 6:30 p.m., Do Kyung-gu comes. He introduces Ye Shiho with everyone. There are two 21-years-old waiter named Hoon and Cheol. There is a 29-years-old lady manager. They also have 4 full-time working employees. Shion is one of them. Her full name is Hwang Soo-jong. The other 3 are Yesung, Aren, and Yoonji. There are also 2 girls who work part-time. Their names are Do-hee and Yeonwoo. Do Kyung-gu then whispers in Ye Shiho ears that he should use a fake name and introduces him to the others. As Ye Shiho come up with a name, Do Kyung-gu take the lead. He tells everyone that Ye Shiho's name is Kim Shiho, and they should just call him Manager Kim. Shi-yeon shouts, "Yes, Do Kyung-gu," then scolds the other to answer like Shi-yeon. After that, everyone start to move on to their designated works. Aren and Shi-yeon talks about Ye Shiho. Aren says that he is cute, but Shi-yeon informs her that he is a bit old-fashioned but delicate like a flower. 1 month has passed by smoothly. At the front desk, Ye Shiho is working at that time. Waiter Hoon receives a call, and he seems nervous. Ye Shiho asked him about his going on. Hoon tells him that they have to close the shop. Shi-yeon hears this and says, "Oh, is it Toady?" Ye Shiho can't understand anything. He is just confused to see what's going on. Shi-yeon then tells him that we get fake reports once a month. It's the day the boss goes to jail. Hearing this, Ye Shiho remembers the conversation he had with Do Kyung-gu when they were at the cell. Ye Shiho asked Shi-yeon why can't they just keep operating? Shi-yeon replies, "No, it'll be chaos if we operate without the boss." Weird people come from the counterfeit side. They come and demand protection money by threatening us. At that time, lady manager comes and tells Ye Shiho that as he is new, he won't get it. She tells them to leave the talking and just focus on closing up. After that, they tells all the customer to leave. They accompanied all the customers to the outside and apologized for this inconvenience. After that, they all switched off the lights and gets out of the store. Everyone says their goodbyes and starts to go to their home. Now only Ye Shiho is at the shop. After everyone leaves, he switched on the light of the banner. Inside, he is dressed up and he is carrying the cue stick with him.